That is correct, Katlego, and I must just say it's such a privilege having Leanne Munnis with us in studio, and also the fact that she just loves cars. But it is that time of the morning, we are talking cars. Chiro's here from overdrivetv.co.za, and he's talking about two very, very cool cars this morning. He's talking about the Suzuki Swift and also the Opel Astra GTC. Fantastic cars. Chiro, man, good morning.
Morning,
nice to have you.
Hi, thanks for
Flying
having me.
solo
as
this
usual.
morning?
Yes, or driving solo.
Driving solo, if you put it like that. Where's Gav?
He's in the Drakensberg, actually, the lucky guy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
He's doing a lot of traveling. Oh, Gav, I'm quite jealous. But anyway,
sure.
no, but
As
it's
long as he doesn't
absolute-
have a too cool car to do it.
I think he's more jealous of me though, being here this morning chatting about cars.
Sure he is. All right.
So it's always nice to talk about Range Rovers and BMW 7 Series and all the rest of it. But here's two cars that you're probably actually going to buy. The Suzuki Swift, let's start there. Now,
I'm a fan. I can tell you straight off the bat.
Me too. I really am. And there's just something so comforting about the cars Suzuki makes. You know, they're not flashy or expensive or overly dramatic, but they just feel like the kind of car that you're going to keep once you've paid it off and probably hand it down to someone in the family.
Yeah.
And this little Swift, I think, is one of the best little cars money can buy. Now, let's start with one of the most important things, safety.
Okay.
This thing scored 5 stars at Euro NCAP, the highest you can score, and it won overall in 2010.
Wow.
The base model comes with 2 airbags. The top models come with 6. And I just think it's one of the safest little cars out there as well. But where it really shines for me is in a couple of places. The interior, one of them. You know, sometimes with these small cars, they make the interiors very funky. I don't
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
I don't like funky because funky is going to age and look a bit cheap in 3 years' time.
True.
But with the interior of the Swift, it's so grown up in there. You know, piano black finishes and those glowing red buttons. It's a lovely place to be.
Nice long life that this can have as well.
Yeah, now exactly that. And now the new one does away with the 1.5 litre engine of the first model. It's got a 1.4, but it's lighter and uses less fuel. And it just feels always eager. If you could compare it to a dog, it's like a Jack Russell. You know, small and always looking for a fight and like straining at the leash. It's a fantastic little engine, and it's got a sports car character. It's sort of challenging you know, like get the best out of me, which I really like in a car. At about 152,900 for the base model, I think this is the car I would have in this segment.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic car. Listen, I fell in love the first time it was launched in Europe, and I saw it, and I remember phoning home saying like, you know, Mom, I saw this awesome car, Suzuki Swift. Is it in South Africa? She's like, what? No, it's not, but it's here. It's fantastic.
Exactly.
Great little car.
My family personally tested this car. My dad actually bought one, and then my little brother wrote it off, and he walked away. It was a bit scary for us, but he just went to show that how safe that little Suzuki is. Yeah. Cool. So moving on now, the Opel Astra GTC. Now, there's no doubt about it. Opel's new Astra is a stunner. And in GTC form, in the coupe form, it just gets even better. So this is the sort of the precursor to the Mad OPC version, performance version, which is coming out a little bit later this year. This is available right now. 2 engines, 1.4 turbo, 1.6 turbo. We have the 1.4, and Opel are calling it the Enjoy. And that's what I suggest you do when you get behind the wheel. Don't try thrash it. It looks like a sports car, but it's actually more of a comfortable cruiser. And if you adapt your driving style to the car, it's much more rewarding. And it feels so right in there. They've set it up to be a driver's car. You know, the gear shift just feels right. There's no other word for it. And the steering wheel feels like it was sort of molded for your hands. It's really great in there. And there's a couple of clever little tricks, like in the boot, there's this sort of false shelf. So when you don't need a big boot day to day, you know, you just put a couple of things in there, and then this false shelf kind of does this gymnastic move and folds into the boot, and you get quite a huge boot. It's really quite clever.
Wow.
Yeah, I particularly like the handling of this car. It might be one of the most comfortable cars in this segment, and I think it's down to those big 18-inch tires, which I must be honest, I wouldn't like to have to replace those.
For sure,
Big
for
Continental. But it is an extremely comfortable car, and I think one of the best looking cars on the road. So prices for those, 287,000 for the 1.4, 304,000 for the 1.6. And with a difference of 17,000 Rand, I think I'd probably pay that 17,000 Rand and go for the 1.6 turbo.
I fully agree with you. You know? Chiro, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Yud.
Always
Cheers.
nice to have you in the
Pleasure to be
studio.
here.
Remember, you can follow Chiro and Gavin, that is not here, that is unfortunately Drakensberg. Gav, if you are watching, good morning to you. Follow them on Twitter at OverdriveTV, and also let us know on Facebook, what do you think about the Suzuki Swift and the Opel Astra GTC? Right now, time for a quick ad break. When we come back, it's time for the Express, and stay tuned because later on, we will announce our MTN winner, the person that won that HTC One X smartphone. Don't miss that.
Stay with Expresso and SABC3.